You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Glad that you're here with us. It is June the 30th, a Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday, everyone. And but weather-wise, we've had nicer weather, especially on a long weekend. So it just seems that, unfortunately, we'll get to the weather in a second. You know, just when it matters, I guess you can say, it's the weather isn't going exactly the way that we would want it to go. But if you have an umbrella or a raincoat, that might help this weekend. We'll talk about things we can be doing on the weekend coming up on the show along with the weather. We got a really great sports report coming up, and a lot of news to unpack. So it's more than usual. So welcome aboard. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk, Sudbury News and Views, where you get a chance to share your views on the news. We're here each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30 on CKLU on the radio, also streaming at cklu.ca. You can click on the Radio Player Canada app and download that. Either stream us or download the app and take us with you. Listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. We're streaming live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. There were a couple glitches yesterday that some of our viewers told us about. And so we're just hoping that was just an anomaly. We're also hoping that Bill C-11, Bill C-18 will be able to be sorted out. If not, it is what it is. We'll have to see where the chips lie, and this would have been a good run while it happened, as it is impacting media in general. And I believe it's a specific attack and a target on independent media, which we fall under that category. So for now, we're live streaming at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and all of that stuff. And mostly comment, though. Most of our comments come in through Facebook. You can also comment on YouTube, and I'll do my best as I have them coming in together on my monitor, and I'm able to share those comments. I'll do my best to read them on the air for those listening. I don't always get to the comments as the show moves on, because the conversation starts getting more and more, and it's more comments coming in, harder to keep the conversation actually going by reading all the comments. So doing our best, one-man operation. But thanks for being with us. This is your show on your station. Let's get right into it, starting with the weather. And we'll be back with a little bit of sports and then all the headlines, your comments, unpacking things, trying to make sense of our world, local and abroad. And so let's start off with some weather. We'll be back right after this. Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, it is 15 degrees. It's mostly cloudy. Today, we can expect mainly cloudy with a 60% chance of showers and a risk of thunderstorm. Local smoke as well. High of 20 today. Humidex will feel like 25. The UV index is 7 or high. Tonight, partly cloudy. 60% chance of showers this evening and after midnight with a risk of thunderstorm. Local smoke as well. This evening, low of 14. Saturday, mainly cloudy, 30% chance of showers late in the morning and in the afternoon. Risk of thunderstorm for Canada Day in the afternoon. High of 28. Humidex 33. the UV index is 7 or very high or high as well. Again, Saturday, 30% chance of showers, also the chance of thunderstorms. Sunday, much of the same, 40% chance of showers, high of 26. Monday, 30% chance of showers, high of 28. And Tuesday, 30% chance of showers, high of 30. But good news, after the long weekend, it'll start to get sunny again. So just in case you're wondering, as soon as the long weekend's done, we'll have some sun. Sunny on Wednesday, high of 30. Partly cloudy, mix of sun and cloud on your Thursday, high of 28. That's your 6-day forecast anyways. Look at your satellite. You can see a lot of clouds over Ontario per se, and a lot of the green stuff for those on the radio, as a lot of the precipitation activity. And we have some right around Sudbury, along with other pockets throughout Ontario. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca, hoping that it won't be as accurate as it is forecasted, so that way we can have a little bit of nice weather this weekend. But let's head into some sports. We'll be back with some sports right after this. And I apologize for that little glitch. It's kind of comical every once in a while. Just a little click in the wrong spot, and there you go. But starting off, this is a pretty exciting NHL draft. If you're a Wolves fan, and for 3 of the Sudbury Wolves, first off, Quentin Musty going in the first round, 26th overall to the San Jose Sharks. 99th overall, this was yesterday, in the 4th round, Alex Ferran going to the Chicago Blackhawks. Congratulations, Alex, local boy. And then 150th overall, Matthew Mania going to join former Wolf, Quinton Byfield, with the LA Kings. So congratulations there. We have a little, a montage of Alex Ferran here. Really awesome.
This season for the Sudbury Wolves.
Ferran shoots. He scores. The kid from Sudbury buries it in the back of the net.
Alex Ferran, nice move through his legs. Oh my goodness gracious. What a goal that was.
Well, the former first-round pick just showed what he can do.
What a finish from Alex Ferran.
Are you kidding me? Alex Ferran.
It's another opportunity looking for a little spark. Alex Ferran going toe-to-toe. We have a Gordie Howe hat trick for Alex Ferran. If the occasion calls for it, he has become one of the leaders on this team. Alex Ferran, number 1 in the league in shooting percentage, and that percentage will only go up with that play.
What a shot from Alex Ferran.
This kid is amazing.
In a way, he gets run over now, and a big hit later. Cooked away by Alex Ferran. Picking it up, putting it home. Alex Ferran.
Alex Ferran ties it up.
The hometown kid gets the scoring started on the season for the Sudbury Wolves.
So congratulations to Alex, going in the 4th round, 99th overall, to the Chicago Blackhawks. Going to be joining Connor Bedard there, the number 1 pick overall in the NHL this season. And going first in the first round, 29th overall, Quentin Musty out of Buffalo, New York. But Sudbury Wolf, nonetheless, a little bit of an interview with him about his, feelings with the whole
I assume you wake up today and nerves. What did it feel like when your name was called?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a little bit of nerves and, sitting there for a while. So I don't know if the camera saw it, but little sweat stains. But, it's surreal when, you hear your name called and, get to spend that moment with your family and just your dreams coming true. So it's probably the best experience of my life so far. And, looking forward to it.
Can't see those stains. They're covered up by a pretty impressive jersey here. What was it like the first time you put on an NHL sweater?
Yeah, it was surreal, especially to have an organization like this, watching them, last year and the year before, they're young and exciting and, can't wait to be a part of that and develop camp or, whatever happens after that. So, yeah, it's surreal to put this on.
Who was somebody that inspired you hockey-wise that you looked up to and you were like, I want to be like that?
Yeah, I think just being from the area, Patrick Kane growing up, and, other guys, there's another guy eligible for the draft now, Case McCarthy. His brother was a good role model for me growing up. I think he was a Devils draft pick a couple years ago. Just those guys being from the area. Buffalo's not a really big, hockey area for guys to come out of, and just those guys showing me that, you can do it. And now I try and be like that for, younger kids in my area. So
I know this whole process is a whirlwind. You're just whisked around and stuff. But when you get a chance to kind of like meet up with your family and friends later on tonight, what do you think the first thing you say to them is?
Yeah, no, just thank you. I have a lot of people here. My mom's got, a lot of brothers and a sister, and my dad's got a couple sisters. And, yeah, there's 60, 70 people up there. So I just can't wait to spend this moment with them. They're the reason I'm here. So.
Oh, we heard them. Don't worry. Congratulations. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Quentin, congratulations.
Yeah, so that's Quentin Musty. And again, the controls on this are absolutely bizarre. Trying to navigate the video to play it. It's bizarre. Anyways, but congratulations to Alex Ferran going 99th and Quentin Musty going 99th. And Matthew Mania, who will be going to the LA Kings, going 150th overall. That's really good. Like, it might sound like, oh, he went 150th, but no, that's to be drafted in the NHL alone is amazing. So congratulations to those three Sudbury Wolves. And speaking of keeping it sports related with the Sudbury 5, they just announced their 2023-24 memberships are available. So if you want to get ahead of the game, back up the boys and pick up your season memberships for the Sudbury 5. That's your Sudbury Sports, brought to you by SudburySports.com. It's Randy Pascal and his website, SudburySports.com. We'll be back right after this with all of your comments on all of the issues and news that are happening currently. We'll be back right after this. Okay, and we are back. And I'd like to welcome all of you that are on so far. Glad to have you on. Monique, good morning, everyone. Glad that you're with us on this Friday. Hope you're having a great Friday. Judy, good morning. Thanks for being with us. Belinda, good morning. Saying of the day from Belinda, the world is changed. The world is changed by your example, not your opinion. That's right. Your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear a word that you say, is what I always say. But that is a very good saying that kind of goes hand in hand with that. The world is changed by your example, not your opinion. Awesome. Keep them coming, Belinda. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a good Friday as well. Shirley, good morning. Okay, so did you ever think of just sitting and not saying anything? She smile. Okay, yeah, I do that quite often, actually. I sit often and just don't say anything. And I like that moment of meditation. Begin every morning, actually, with that. So good morning, Shirley. And also good morning, Vin. Hope you're having a great Friday morning. And Shane as well. Happy Friday! ! And Brian, weekends would be less if Friday didn't exist. Happy Friday, everyone. Sup from YouTube. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a great Friday as well. Noticed lately we've been having 4 people on YouTube. It's just it's interesting to see the trends of the show since we began, because there's different algorithms and different moderators. And thanks to our YouTube and Facebook moderators, by the way. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. But just people kind of manipulating or touching things, and I don't know. Like, you'd think if you just let the show go out there and just let it be, and people could just share it and like it and whatever, it would be more organic. But you can almost tell, like, there's just different trends and waves. Like when we first had the show, we had videos that would have over 100 views, like right after But then it started, okay, and then we'd have 7, then it went to 30, and then, I don't know, and someone out there who would be a critic of the show would say, well, that's because your show isn't as entertaining as it could be or whatever. But no, it's not that at all. And now I notice religiously every day there's 4 watching on YouTube. But I just question that in some ways of what's being done behind the scenes to kind of push it a certain way, to only go to certain people. And we can see, we're going to talk about that today. That's our first story about certain powers that be trying to manipulate how information gets out there, right? So good morning, Denise. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Starting with this from Northern Ontario CTV News. Google to remove news links after Bill C-18. In Canada, if you're watching from outside Canada, our government was nice enough to release 2 bills, Bill C-11 and Bill C-18, both of which is a 1-2 punch to they say it's to support Canadian content by making big tech giants pay for news from the news outlets. News outlets, by the way, aren't asking for this. They weren't lobbying the government to do it. The government just went out and did it because they've been financing and supplementing and paying for media in Canada. And I guess they say, well, why are we paying for it? We get the tech giants to pay for it. And they don't have to do this. It's news outlets themselves putting it up on the platforms because they want to get the news out there. And then it's up to them to figure out a way to monetize it through advertising or through memberships or whatever. So this is a really backwards way of saying to media in general, and then I think independent media for certain, your news, it will not be going on these platforms. In other words, you will not have platforms for your news anymore because that's how you're able to get it out. You remember back in the day, we thought, oh, the internet's going to liberate us. The internet, it's going to be a game changer. It's going to make sure everybody can get their voice out there. And then enter governments, and governments do what they do. And they make bills and they pass laws. They've been doing it for years, by the way. So if you would have let's say you found something in the rock in Sudbury, and it was you were able to extract something from the rock that was really valuable to other people, and you were able to start doing it before other people caught on. Well, wow, this is a really great moneymaker. You would start making a lot of money and whatever, and then in order for you to protect your business interest, you would go to the government and say, you know what, I really like my business, I like the money I got and the power it brings me, and I really don't want competition. Can you make some laws possibly that make it harder for competition to come in? And then they go, well, no, we're the government. We're here to keep everything free and open for everyone, right? Well, how about we do this for you? We can pay for your kids' college, maybe get you a new vehicle, or maybe a camp or a cottage like that. No, how about that? And then everyone's got a price point, right? That's called lobbying. Bribery, lobbying, yeah. So lobbying then makes it so that way laws can be made that makes it impossible for other people to enter a certain industry or business, and then you only end up with a few big ones. That's the oil companies back in the day. The government came in and pretended to break them up, so that way people were happy. But Imperial Oil is still Imperial Oil, and basically they all work together. It's basically like one company anyways. So here you have the government saying, and they always have to use it. They say the opposite for what the real intent is. Oh, we're here to support media in Canada. Well, it's killing media in Canada. So you'll see what's going to happen. We talked about Sudbury.com yesterday saying we're no longer going to be on Facebook anymore. So how does that support local media? You're just going to get old school newsletter. We're going back in time now. You got to get their newsletter to get the news. Can't get it on social media. because we passed a bill that's supposed to support local media and support media in general. Well, that's working out really great. Obviously, you know it had the opposite intent when you see the outcome of it. But again, we'll see how all this unfolds. Google is to remove news links over Bill C-18. So we didn't know really what Google was going to be doing, but here we go. They're taking news off as well. Homegrown and growing, Belinda. Perfect. Okay. So Brian sees more than 4 people, so maybe I'm just getting wrong statistics from YouTube each and every day. No idea. Again, it wouldn't surprise me that numbers are nothing on social media things. Everything's manipulated these days. Everyone's got their fingers in the pot. Key factors get chosen for the algorithm, and then the algorithm does the work. Yeah, exactly. And we'll be talking about that for our next story here. Good morning. It's happening to everybody. Soon we'll be like China. Oh, for sure. That's the China is the goal, right? China. I came up with that a long time ago. I saw the writing on the wall. I even made a flag where it's the red flag, the Chinese red flag, and then instead of, we just have little maple leaves in the corner that we can merge our two countries together. Denise says we have an addiction to our cell phones and they're using it against us. Well, yeah, definitely. Bill C-18, Brian says, absolute rubbish. Might as well call it the shut up and listen bill. Oh, so I had said yesterday as well, it's not the end of news. We'll have state-run media. Like, that's the goal, right? State-run news. We already have it, but there's alternatives. And people obviously go more and more to the alternatives because they realize they're handed BS from the state-run media. Sudbury.com will still have their website. Yeah, it's very user-friendly for sure. But again, right, you have to go to it. It doesn't come to you. Like, would you prefer it just to get a newsletter and go to their website, or would you prefer it to be on social media, right? I think we've gotten used to the whole social media thing. It's easy to share news. So let's say you go to their website, Stephen, and you're reading the greatest article you've ever read in your life. And you say, I want to share this with a friend, or I want to just share this with all my friends. Not easy to do anymore. You got to get their email. Hey, can I send you an article? And then eventually you won't even be allowed to send any articles to anybody. I don't know what the end game is going to be, but that's the way it is now. You're going to have to email it to somebody instead of, just put it on your Facebook, and then a friend could nonchalantly go over and kind of look at your feed and go, oh, I didn't realize this was happening. So it really does take away a whole aspect of our, what we've been getting used to anyways as a society. I think they're lying when they say they have royal assent. Yeah, possibly. For sure, that's definitely something to keep in mind. It's everything they say is the opposite to the truth, and I find that as well. The Patriot Act, case in point in the United States, took away habeas corpus, the right you have to be innocent until proven guilty. The Patriot Act, and a patriot usually means in the United States that you stand for freedom and all the things that go along with it. And that definitely doesn't go in line with that, for sure. Habeas corpus, if you don't know what it is, look it up. Gone from the Patriot Act. And again, right? So 9/11, what did it produce? So who was behind 9/11? A lot of debunking videos. Thanks, Stephen, for sending me the debunking videos, or at least adding them on Facebook yesterday. Debunking videos have been around all along. Ever since there's been true things happening that the government doesn't want to get caught doing, there's a lot of people that'll make debunking videos. So if you believe 2 terrorists with box cutter knives went into 2 planes, or however many planes there were, and never flew a plane barely hardly in their life, and maneuvered planes with exactness that pilots themselves say would be hard to do, and brought down buildings that have never happened ever in history before, and then, followed up an attack on a country that was said to have weapons of mass destruction that never ended up doing that, going to war, and then going into Afghanistan. Like, if you believe all that and you believe the narrative that the government gives out, well, then that's okay. It's a free country. A lot of debunking videos that go against what the really true story happened, and that it was done on purpose by people who had they had an agenda to have more control, and that's what ended up coming afterwards. There was a lot of wars, a lot of money being made, and a lot of laws that made more control, power over the people. Case in point, the Patriot Act. So basically took freedom away from their own people from this act. So are there people behind the scenes who want to take freedom away from people? That's up to you to look into and see if that's true or not. Okay, metaphor we use more like the trucks of nickel being overtaken by roadside bandits and selling the nickel that they stole from you. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now my eyesight is getting really bad. I have to apologize, everyone. Just I'm not sure why. I think it's because I was using my phone this morning to get some last minute news onto the onto our feed so we can be able to talk about it today. And that was one of them. It's just here. So anyways, I'm going to get all your comments up on the screen. So anybody who is watching will have the benefit. If you want to catch the show afterwards, catch everyone's comments. I'll always do my best to get everybody's comments up on the screen for sure. And then we'll move on to the next story, which basically goes hand in hand. So if you think that's strange, wait until AI really gets going. So the godfather of AI shares 6 ways the tech might harm humans. Advancements around artificial intelligence technology are pushing for the world into a period of huge uncertainty, according to AI pioneer Jeffrey Hinton. And as the technology becomes smarter, the godfather of AI is highlighting 6 harms that it may pose to humans. I definitely want you guys to look into that, because the world in which we're heading very shortly and already kind of now are in, it's like, look how divisive the last couple of years were with the pandemic, and people saying, no, this is true, that's true. Look at climate change. No, this is true, that's true. There's a division, a huge division in our society already without the AI kind of influence the way that it's going to come out. So what is true and what's not true? Is the one side true and the other side true? Is it a mix of both? What about the jab? There's no health. It's safe and effective. There's no harms that could come to anybody, right? And then there's the other side saying, yeah, you put that in me and I'll, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of harms that have come from that, and they can prove it. And then the other side says, no, I can prove that there's nothing wrong with it, right? So now enter AI that has videos and articles and, things that are fake or truth mixed with fake. People won't know whether they're coming or going. What was it, just in the States or something? There was a recording of Donald Trump saying something, and it was taken out of context. He was reading a magazine, but they thought he was admitting that he did something, but he was reading an article of someone accusing him of something, and that went out there, and everyone believed that he was, here's a confession from Donald Trump. Anyways, the name I know is divisive just to say it on air. I know it's less divisive as it used to be. However, yeah, I said his name. It's okay. But wait till AI. And there was a video of him being arrested and resisting arrest, and it was he's being brought into the jail or whatever by police. That was all AI. It was all fake. So there's going to be videos of politicians doing things, and then the politicians will be able to say, no, that's just a fake, even if it's real. And people won't know whether it's real or not. And then the argument's going to go out, no, he really did it. He's just saying it was fake. Look, because I got this other video. We knew he was in the area at the time, and we won't know truth from error. And it's really interesting that Bill C-11 and Bill C-18 is coming out now, where that's just being shut down. Any kind of news. So they're really forcing you to only have certain choices of news. Why do they have to do that? Well, I guess the future will tell. Coming back a little bit to local news, which I know a lot of people are probably thankful for. Housing project breaks ground in Sudbury, Northern Ontario. CTV News. Reporting on that, on Thursday, there was a groundbreaking ceremony for the controversial Lorraine Street transitional housing project. As you remember, not all residents were in favor of that. Many town hall meetings and things, but CTV brings us the story. Gord Nichols has that for us. We'll be back right after this.
Meanwhile, in Sudbury, the city broke ground today on a controversial affordable housing project over the objections of some neighbors. City Council approved the development of a 40-unit building which will support vulnerable people and will offer services for addictions and mental health. CTV's Alana Everson has details.
This is the future site of a 40-unit modular transitional housing building. City officials say it will support vulnerable people with wraparound services for addictions and mental health.
They can't do it alone, right? And the fact that before what we would just do is basically they would be, we would provide an apartment, 2 weeks to a month later, they couldn't hold the apartment because they were not well enough and they were back on the street. So it was a vicious cycle. Now we're trying to break that cycle with this investment and this new building.
The development of the building did not come without controversy, with neighbors vehemently opposing the location. Despite that, the previous council gave it the go-ahead in August of 2022, and city officials say so far the project is on budget.
So the budget is just a little under $12 million for this project. It is a modular build, so it's going to be one of the first in our, or second in our community. I believe that the School of Architecture was the first. And we are hoping to have occupancy by the end of December.
The federal government is helping to fund the project with a $7 million contribution.
We've heard a lot from constituents who are very concerned about the state of homelessness, the opioid crisis, our downtown, and we know that there's a lot of people who want to make that change. So this kind of funding helps that very vulnerable community, and it helps municipalities. They can't do it on their own.
The mayor and local MP confirm they plan to make more affordable housing announcements this summer through the federal government's Rapid Housing Funding Program. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
So thanks to Gord Nichols, Alana Everson for that from CTV Northern Ontario, supporting local journalism as long as it's around. Really appreciate it. And that is the controversial housing unit project. And I was able to read a few of the comments coming in. So I'm really grateful that not everyone agrees with everything that I'm saying. And so that's where you're able to come to this particular conversation. And yes, I have the mic. I pay for the software. I get up every morning and organize myself. I bought all the hardware and software to do the show. I had the idea of the show. And so, yeah, I'm the facilitator of the conversation. And so it is also exercising for me to be able to articulate on the fly without a script, without reading a teleprompter that was written by somebody else, who knows who. And so I'm able to express, as long as I'm able to do that, things that I've learned over time, which I do believe I've spent hundreds, if not, there's thousands of hours researching the world we live in, trying to make sense of it. And even that, there's so many missing components to connect the dots. But I thought, at least getting the conversation, I thought there might be other people out there like myself who just don't seem to, just take what's being told to us as 100% truth. And you need to ask some questions. That's pretty much all that it is. The rest is up to you. The rest is up to you, really, to go out there and find, dig deeper, to know for yourself if that's something that's important to you. If you like spoon-fed information, you're going to love the future. You're gonna love this future that you're getting into. So spoon-fed information will be on the menu every day. You're gonna get a really great portion of spoon-fed information that you won't be able to question, and you'll be loving it if that's the kind of person that you are. If you like to ask questions and you don't like to be given everything that's handed to you, and you just want to understand a little bit deeper, and you maybe understand that people need to be held accountable, that are put in positions of power and authority, then, just an open conversation, maybe at the coffee shops will be the only thing you'll be able to do. And so for now, this is a platform for everyone, as I'm getting everybody's conversation, comments up on the screen, no matter what's being said, right? So giving equal time to everybody to be able to share your views. And as more and more comments come in, it's harder and harder to basically just sit and just read everyone's comments. And so we're doing our best here with with what we got. So, and the show has kind of developed, and we just started it out and weren't really sure what was going to happen, but it is here to take all of media that's in Sudbury, put it all in one place, look at it, talk about it, unpack it, and that's where we're at. And thanks to CBC, they have a video from an individual who just won some awards over in Germany, Dan Frappier, and he's showing off his Goodyear welt machine and how it works. He was in the cobbler competition, and he won best cobbler in the world. He's from Sudbury. So anyways, he's going to show us how the machine works. We'll check in with him. We'll be right back.
So I'll get you to introduce yourself. Just tell me your name and where we are, and then tell me what this machine is and what you're doing.
All right. So my name is Dan Frappier. I own Heels and Soles Shoe Repair. This is a Goodyear welt machine, or a Goodyear sewing machine. This, believe it or not, this machine is from 1954. I've rebuilt it, and it works like a charm, like it was new. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to sew a piece of leather. This is what we do when we sew leather soles on your shoes.
Cool.
So easy as that, if you can tell. It's a 1/4-inch piece of thick leather, and it just ran through it like butter.
Now, isn't that cool? That reminds me of the old sewing machines. They're not even electric. They're foot powered with pedals. My grandmother used to have, I think, still have it actually, and pretty awesome. They don't make machines like that anymore. So you can tell it's an old machine that he's refurbished. Hopefully it doesn't play again. Here we go. So Dan Frappier, winner of the Cobbler of the World Award. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's pretty darn awesome, if you ask me. Thanks to CBC for that. Okay, so got some more news about gas prices. Urgent reminder, this comes from the Coalition of Concerned Manufacturers and Businesses of Canada. Urgent reminder, make sure to fill up your car before tomorrow, Canada Day, Saturday, July 1st, because that's when the second carbon tax officially goes into effect. Trudeau says, Happy Canada Day, everyone, with his new second carbon tax addition to the tax on the tax on the tax. Wonder why there's so many taxes on taxes and why it's okay to do that. I don't know. You'd think someone would say, you know what? It's not a good idea anymore. I think we're taxed enough and we give you enough of our money, and maybe you should learn how to manage it. That's what I would say. if someone was taking my money all the time and then not really giving me the benefit in return so many ways. To me, it looks like society is going in a downward direction, and we're being taxed more and more and more. So you'd think the more and more and more we'd be taxed, that life would be getting better and better and better. But I don't know. I don't see that. So we're going to be fighting climate change. We'll see how the climate will get better after this new tax comes into being. So fill up tonight, everyone. I mean, it'll save you a couple cents. You'll have to pay ongoing after that for the tax on the tax on the tax. Yeah, how much of gas is taxed nowadays? Remember Doug, who was it that made the sticker? Doug Ford. And there was a real lashback about that, putting stickers on the gas pumps of how much tax, because they keep blaming the big corporations, the greedy corporations, you know, and he's like, oh yeah, well, let's see how much of the gas prices are the greedy corporations, you know. And I know that whole thing. They're subsidized, the oil industry's subsidized and all this stuff, and I understand all that. And, but yeah, by and large, mostly tax. So another thing along the lines of media, you see here, Postmedia's merger talks with Toronto Star. It's a Hail Mary pass, what an expert is saying. A potential merger between Canada's two largest newspaper chains could mark the next step in the dissemination, I'd also claim the deterioration, of Canadian news, which has seen dwindling jobs and widening coverage gaps, say those who study the industry. It's not just me. It's people who study the industry. So it's not vibrant. So if you don't have the watchdogs of our society being vibrant, a vibrant industry, and they're weakened, what do you have in place of it? You have those that they should have been the watchdogs for, gaining more power and influence, and maybe even controlling, having their own industry and doing what that industry was supposed to be doing before, or at least the optics of it, and have their own state-run media, because we can't have a privately run media. Might as well just have a state-run media. And that's where things are going. It's already kind of there anyways, because it's all supplemented by government money, and it's hard to be a watchdog when the government's paying you to be the watchdog. Meh. Again, is that a conspiracy theory? I don't know. That sounds... I just read the story here. Bill C-11, Bill C-18. Journalism in general is struggling. Jobs are being lost. And so what is journalism supposed to be doing in the first place? Everyone should be very concerned at what's going on there. So the government's, it's kind of like it's down. If you look at journalism as a fight, the government and journalism, and now journalism's lying on the ground. The government now is going over and standing on the throat of journalism with their sword raised in the air, kind of thing. That's where we're at right now with all that. And they just have to now, I think Bill C-18, Bill C-11 is that sword coming down through the heart kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see if what I'm kind of gleaning from everything will be true or not. The future will only tell. It's the only thing that can tell. Dave loves the CBC, so he will love when the CBC is the only answer that we have for journalism. Speaking of CBC, Sudbury police have to step between Sweeney and Wright supporters as convicted killer is sentenced. Robert Stephen Wright, this is coming from Sudbury.com, will serve 12 years of a life sentence before he is eligible for parole from the 1998 murder of Renee Sweeney. Wright is convicted of second-degree murder March 29th for the stabbing death of Sweeney, who was killed in her workplace on January 27th, 1998. He has been incarcerated since his arrest in 2018. The courtroom at the Sudbury courthouse was full on June 29th, yesterday, but held less people than at peak times in the trial, especially the days that Wright testified on his own behalf, telling the court he was at the store but did not kill Sweeney. He said he panicked and ran. Several members of the jury were again in the gallery, as were several supporters of Wright and his family, as he was led into the courtroom wearing a gray checkered shirt. Wright's beard was significantly longer than his last appearance. Not sure why that's newsworthy, but he's got a beard now, and he's being sentenced. For more on that, you can visit Sudbury.com or CBC. They both have the story there. I just wanted to cover this too. You know how the Ford government stopped the renewing of license plates, and you go in, you get the reminder, you go in, you pay. Now you just got to go online and do it. What they don't send reminders anymore. So the OPP have technology where they can just scan people driving by their license plates, and it's able to tell them whether people have up-to-date license plates or not, whether they went online and registered them. And if they don't, they got to give them tickets. But what's happening is on freeways, their technology is being lit up with 20 people at a time driving by who don't have their license plates registered. So that's a problem right now. But I know the solution. I know what they can do. They can have cameras with the same technology without police officers even having to man them with AI-powered technology to automatically send someone a ticket in the mail if they go by the camera and their license plate isn't registered. That's an awesome idea. And I think that's the solution they're going to come up with. We'll see if I'm right on that. Time can only tell. All right. It's a great solution, though, because you don't have to have officers not able to handle that many people with, un-up-to-date license plates to hand out tickets to. If it's all automated from the cameras, as you're just driving by anyways, cameras don't take much money to man. Right? All over the place on the news today. It's just I'm sharing it as the stories are coming in on my feed and getting your comments up on the screen. So just a reminder to everybody that this, for now anyways, this live cast will be on demand on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube.com/Sudbury News, Facebook.com/Sudbury News. If you're listening on the radio, there's a very robust conversation happening while we're going through the newscast here, or whatever, the show. So I welcome everyone to go on later and check it out. This is from CTV News. The WHO, the WHO, not the band, but the organization, the WHO, the World Health Organization's Cancer Research Agency. They're going to say this, that aspartame sweetener is a possible carcinogen. They're going to say it. They're getting ready to say it. Aspartame, the thing we thought was safe that's put in all diet products all these years, approved by Health Canada and the FDA in the United States. We thought it was safe. They're putting it in our foods. We're drinking it. We're eating it. They're about to release that aspartame, tomato, the sweetener is a possible carcinogen. Reuters, a very trusted news source, reports one of the world's most common artificial sweeteners is set to be declared a possible carcinogen next month by a leading global health body, according to two sources with knowledge of the process, pitting it against the food industry and regulators. Yeah, those who have already approved it. They're like, look, it causes cancer. Why did you allow this in our foods to begin with? And they're going to go, no, but money was given to us. Yeah. Wait a minute. That happens? So here's one example of how that got through. What's his name? Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld. a great Republican, for those that are politically, so we can at least get along with this story and be on the same page. A Republican who sat on the board of a company that made aspartame, was able to use political influence to get it through the Food and Drug Administration in the United States, even though they knew at the time it caused cancer way back then. It's basically a form of rat poison. And why not put it in all of our drinks and say that it's a replacement for sugar? What's it going to, why, what? A lot of people are going to make a lot of money off this, right? It's only people, hackable animals, as the Klaus Schwab's right-hand man says. People are only hackable animals. Look that up. That's interesting. The WEF, that's how they think of people. So a lot of these people at the top think of you like that. And then they want you to argue amongst yourselves over little things they put in front of you as distractions, make you argue, so you don't really look at them behind the scenes doing the big things that affect your life in big ways. So, well, the future will again show if that statement is right or not. That's aspartame for everyone. Causes cancer. Surprise, surprise. I knew that ever since it came out. I told that to everybody I know. Someone's drinking a Diet Coke, that's not good for you, right? Oh no, if it's sold at the store, it should be good for me, right? Because people wouldn't want to put something that's poisonous in my food. They wouldn't do that because I trust everyone all the time, no matter what. Because news doesn't say anything wrong about it. Well, now it is. Now it is. And what's going to happen with climate change in the future? What's going to happen about all these other things? The vaccines in the future, Now it's one thing, but in the future it's another thing when it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter as much. But your health is your health. You are you. Why put your health and your trust and everything in other people? Why do people do that? They just trust other people no matter what. Oh, I just trust them. They're my doctor. I trust them. They're my farms. I trust politicians. Oh, I trust the people on the news. Oh, I know if something was going on, they wouldn't do it. Well, keep trusting. Stop asking questions, and we'll see how the future goes. And we're going to see very shortly. Canada Day not a celebration for some communities in Northern Ontario. CBC News. That seems to be a common theme here, that you shouldn't be proud of your country because your country is innately bad. So no more fireworks. It's not just because of the fire ban. That just goes along with it. They canceled fireworks in BC because it's not Canadian anymore. Because most people, Canada's become such a melting pot that fireworks aren't a good example of celebration for all these people here. So who is Canada anyways? So we're going to change who we are, what our history is. We're going to change what our identity is. But who's changing it? So Canada Day, not a celebration for some communities in Northern Ontario. And I think there's some credibility behind some issues people have with Canada Day, and that's normal. But what's wrong with getting together and having differences and still celebrating one common thing? The fact we all live in Canada, and it's actually been a pretty cool place for all these years. It's trying to not be in a lot of ways. A lot of bills coming out that are detrimental to enjoying one's life, kind of thing. But the future will tell. Could growing wildfire risk extinguish the tradition of Canada Day fireworks in Northern Ontario? Yeah. And someone said yesterday the fact that we have our fireworks on Ramsey Lake. Like it's on a lake. The fireworks go up in the air and whatever comes down on water. Think about that for a second. Think about that. So why do you have to cancel fireworks when we have our fireworks on a barge on a lake with no possibility of fire? Why wouldn't you have volunteer firefighters around the lake when the fireworks are going off? Because some people don't want fireworks in high level positions. And so they're going to use whatever means possible to kind of break tradition in Canada, to make a new future, a new one that they've kind of come up with in their minds, what they think the future should be for you, just like they thought your future should include aspartame. Another good thing is to look up fluoride in your water. Fluoride in your water. You know, I think that, again, it's along the same lines as aspartame. And read the label on toothpaste. Next time you got your toothpaste, it says, if swallowed, consult a physician immediately on your toothpaste. I wonder why. Like, where do you put toothpaste? But if swallowed, you have to consult a physician immediately. I wonder why that is. See, again, I just asked the question. Why does it say that on your toothpaste? That's interesting. Maybe next time you got toothpaste, just look at it and ask yourself how many times your kids have put that toothpaste in their mouth. And as a kid, sometimes you get the bubblegum flavored kind. You just might actually swallow that stuff. Who are making these decisions? Why is it on our shelves? Why is it okay? Just a question. Have a great Canada Day weekend, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you bring to the table in all your even not agreeing to any other people's opinions. And that's great, because that's what we shouldn't do. You don't always agree with everybody. You should look into things for yourself. And we'll be back, God willing, same time, same place, Tuesday, because we're going to take Monday off of the show just to celebrate something worth celebrating, and that's Canada. And so have a great weekend, everyone. Love you. Have a safe and wonderful Canada Day weekend. We'll be back same place, same time, God willing. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU. Make sure to share. Take care. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.